How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. I recently uploaded videos on predicting the 5 best point guards and shooting guards in 2025. If you guys haven't already seen it yet, I highly recommend you to check it out. Throughout the 2010s decade, LeBron James has been unquestionably the best small forward. Now that we're heading towards an era of positionless basketball, many threes become point forwards, facilitate, and take over games. With that said, here are my predictions for the 5 best small forwards in the year 2025. Number 5, DeAndre Hunter, who hasn't played a single game yet, but one of my bold predictions, Hunter out of the University of Virginia was one of the best two-way players in all of college basketball, has good size at 6'8", 225 pounds as the 21-year-old, capped off a 27-point effort in the title game as one of the most intriguing prospects. His defense, being able to guard multiple positions, goes straight up inside with good discipline, and often guards the opposing team's best scorer. Consider a lengthy wing with a 7'2" wingspan. His presence will be vital in bothering the other team's best perimeter players, can also knock down the 3-ball, create his own shot, deadly from mid-range. A prototypical 3-and-D wing will be a huge asset immediately coming into the league. Has all the skill set to become an 18 to 23 point scorer, proven he's very efficient, shooting 52% from the field his last season at Virginia, 44% from 3. I don't expect him to be a star caliber player right away, but 5 years from now, Hunter will be 26 years old, improve in all aspects of his game, reach all-star level, and become an all-defensive team type of guy. His rookie season, I don't expect him to put up big numbers, having Trae Young and John Collins in Atlanta, but I do see slow progression, and by 2023, Hunter will be one of the best starting threes in the game. By 2025, I predict the 26-year-old to put up 21 a game, 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Number 4, Brandon Ingram, who's shown improvement year by year, and shockingly, after his 3rd season, he's still only 21 years old. If everybody had to guess who was going to be the breakout player in 2020, many experts would pick Ingram, coming off averages of 18.3 points, 5.1 rebounds, 3 assists on almost 50% shooting in 52 games. He couldn't fully develop with LeBron on the team, had to take a step back and let James run the offense. After playing only 52 games with minor blood clots in his right arm, the concern is considered minor and not serious. Just like how former Lakers 2nd overall pick D'Angelo Russell broke out last season, Ingram was selected the year after him, and this time it's up to the 6'9" small forward to take his game to new heights, having no pressure since New Orleans has plenty of young promising players. And after making progression last season, Ingram added some muscle to his slender frame, much more comfortable at attacking the basket and finishing through contact, plays above the rim, something that opened up every aspect of his game. Looking back at the numbers of the 3 2019 MVP finalists, their stats in their first 3 seasons wasn't super impressive. Because of their raw talent, all those guys continued to get significantly better and eventually became superstars. I'm not saying Ingram will be that good like those guys, but being 6'9" and continuing to improve, drawing many comparisons to Kevin Durant, he won't be as good as KD, but will be relied upon as the closer down the stretch for the Pelicans. In 2025, Ingram will be 27 years old, in the prime of his career, because of his inconsistency and poor free throw shooting. At 66% for his career, I see him having monster game one night and a very mediocre one the next. By next season, I expect him to average 20 points a game. In 2025, I see him average around 23 points, 7 rebounds, dished out 4 assists, a poor version of Kevin Durant, become a multiple-time All-Star, being in Victor Oladipo, DeMar DeRozan territory, a top 15 to 20 player in the league. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard, who will be 33 years old 5 years from now, where he'll likely have more championships by then and be on the verge of solidifying himself as one of the greatest players the game has ever seen because of his style of play, not relying too much on athleticism, and how relaxed and poised he is. I absolutely see Kawhi Leonard's game aging very well, especially if he doesn't have any significant injuries down the line. Now at the very prime of his career, having one of the most lethal mid-range jumpers, can post up, overpower smaller guys, a well-improved passer, and the best lockdown defender in the game, drawing similar comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Both were still amazing at age 33. MJ still put up over 30 points a game and was the best player. Kobe put up nearly 28 a game at that age, and both those guys in their primes were better than Kawhi, taking good care of their bodies. Leonard's competitiveness and desire to win reminds me a lot of those two. Not being very outspoken, his performance in game leads his team by example, simply gets it done in the clutch because of load management. Leonard's one of the best superstars at pacing himself, so I won't be surprised if he never wins wins a regular season MVP, but come playoff time, that's when he shines brightest. The next 2 seasons, I expect Leonard to play around 70 games, put up 27, 8, and 4 at ages 28 and 29, arguably the best player in basketball right now, while he will continue to remain a top 5 player in the NBA until he's around 31, 32 years old, slow down a little bit, but will still have the tools to average around 23 to 24 points a game, pull down 7 rebounds, dish out 3 assists, and still make all defensive team at age 33, remain a top 10 player in the league. And given a couple of his injury concerns in the past, Kawhi won't be the same athletically at that age, but dangerous enough to still contend for championships as the best player on his team. Number 2, Jayson Tatum. After a little bit of a disappointing sophomore season, having to deal with a lot of egos, the 6'8" forward averaged 15.7 points, 6 rebounds, 2.1 assists on 45% shooting, took a lot of poor percentage shots and settled for long twos, looked disengaged at times dealing with Kyrie Irving, and now the 21-year-old will look to put all that behind. Looked at as the future of the Celtics, Kemba Walker's the best player on the team right now, but Tatum's looked at as the long-term franchise player. The team refused to include his name in any Anthony Davis trade package. Now the pressure of title now or bust is no longer the plan for Boston. They're once again sleepers in the Eastern Conference. It'll depend on how the relationship of Tatum and Brad Stevens clicks. Couldn't do much in last season's playoffs since Kyrie was bricking shots left and right and not caring one bit. Before that, Tatum was the best player in the Sixers series his rookie year, dropping at least 20 points every game in the semis, averaged 23.6 points on 53% shooting, looked like a superstar at 19 years old. Being ready for the moment, he's already proven he has what it takes to deliver in big games, dropped 24 in Game 7 against Cleveland in the conference finals, where he was the main reason why Boston was in the game the whole time. Guys like Rozier and Brown were absolutely awful. Already being one of the most polished young perimeter players, I honestly believe Kyrie's presence and ego was the main reason why Tatum didn't improve and couldn't improve last season. But having a fresh start, I expect him to pick up where he left off from the 2018 postseason, average around 21 a game next season, having all the scoring tools, an excellent transition game, being able to post up better than most players in their primes. His offensive arsenal reminds me of a young Carmelo Anthony. 5 years from now, approaching 2025, Tatum will be 26 to 27 years old, entering the early stages of his prime, will slowly improve on his defense every year where it's respectable. I don't think he will be a top 5 player in the game, but a top 10 player. A little better overall than Paul Pierce and Carmelo Anthony, average around 28 a game, be one of the best scorers, grab 7 rebounds, dish out 3.5 assists, and will be contending in the playoffs. Number 1, Luka Doncic. With a 20-year-old phenom's well on his way to superstardom, Doncic has no real position, is essentially a point forward with his ability to handle the ball and facilitate. At 6'7", coming into the league as a 19-year-old rookie, easily winning Rookie of the Year, he put up better numbers than LeBron's rookie season, averaged 21 a game, 7.8 rebounds, 6 assists, a future walking triple-double. Doncic is light years ahead of his maturity and understanding of the game, makes all the winning plays, very relaxed and composed, simply makes the game look easy at times, is absolutely a transcendent talent, can run the offense better than more than half the starting point guards in the NBA today, plays with enthusiasm and joy, smiling all the time, and having good size, weighing around 220 pounds. His step-back jumper is one of the most lethal weapons in today's NBA, excels in the pick and roll, has a beautiful runner, already looks like the best player on the court at times. Doncic is simply a basketball prodigy. 5 years from now, whether he plays the 1, the 2, or the 3, he'd be absolutely number 1 on my list in any of those positions. He puts up LeBron caliber numbers with his overall performance, stuffing the stat sheet, has offensive moves like Kobe Bryant, where he simply takes over games, crosses up his defenders, using all his bags of tricks, hitting tough shot after tough shot, was arguably snubbed as an all-star last season, already has the killer instinct. It's absolutely not shocking to believe Luka Doncic will be the best player in the NBA 5 years from now. By next season, if he stays healthy, there's no question he'll be a top 20 player in the game. I honestly believe he's already better than DeMar DeRozan right now. Doncic would be the number 1 option on half the NBA teams right now, seeing how great he was as a teenager, as the most hyped international prospect the game has ever seen. Despite his average level athleticism and lack of speed to defend stronger and quicker guys, a lot of that won't matter since Luka's already so skilled as a complete offensive player, has a Manu Ginobili type attitude, gets the crowd going, whether it's hitting half-court shots to end the quarter, make no-look passes nobody was expecting, or faking out his opponent, making them look foolish. Luka's game is very unpredictable. 5 years from now, I believe Doncic will be a top 3 player in the game, finish as a top 3 MVP candidate multiple times, win the award more than once, contending for a championship. At 25 and 26 years old, I predict Doncic will average around 27 points a game, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, not to mention he won't even be in his prime yet. I see a mixture of James Harden and Larry Bird in Luka's game, and I'm very confident he'll be one of the best players in the NBA in a couple years. Mark my words. Honorable mentions includes Paul George, who will be 35 years old, will be slowing down at the time. Also Kevin Durant, who will be 36 years old at the tail end of his career. I can still see him put up around 20 to 23 points a game, given his size and incredible shooting ability. Kevin Knox will be 25. I expect him to be a very good scorer, and high school sensation Emoni Bates, who's one of the most hyped prospects at 6'8", will be a junior in high school next season, is 15 years old. If all goes well, he might be able to go straight from high school to the NBA in 2022. If they change the one and done rule, will turn 21 in 2025. Given the hype, he's projected to be the future of basketball. Thank you so much for watching this video. Who do you guys think will be the best small forward in the year 2025? Let me know in the comments below. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.